though. This could be huge. Manning is to fight them.
Well, we're in the final match of the night, ladies and gentlemen. It's a big one. It is none other than Wildcard and Rhythm. But I do feel as though we've seen some pretty intense matchups already. And this, although on face value, Wildcard and Rhythm, you'd expect it to be a blowout. I mean, even last season, okay, we expect it to be a blowout. But last season, it was OT. So, a new season, a new dawn, a new day, all those things. Wildcard are injured, Dev, and this is a big chance for them to take the 3 points.
Indeed, yeah, Wildcard definitely have been that best team in OS for a very long time, but they are very much a wounded beast at the minute, and Rhythm has already outdone themselves taking down Order last week. Let's have a look at Wildcard, the guys that you know and love, and look right at the top of that list is old mate Vinny Tam Silex. He's usually at the bottom of this list as the coach, but he's had to fill in for Diesel, who is probably the most prolific and notorious smoke and thermite support player in OS. He's such a passionate guy and has really been such an integral part of this roster, but unfortunately he's had to depart due to some personal reasons. So Silex is filling in for this team. You've still got some amazing fraggers there, Vinny, Emo, Pat, and Geo. Four of the best players that you could really find in OCE, but these guys just aren't performing how we would have expected this season.
No, and I would say that it's it's a lot of pressure riding on their backs. By the way, Dev is now 1 for 3 in predictions. 8. You're not having a good one. I'm throwing you under the bus nice and early tonight. But seriously, this roster, there's so much potential. There's so much promise. And no matter how good you are as a team, no matter how good you are as an individual, I think a champion team will always beat a team of champions. And right now, this is a team of champions. Without that centerpiece that made them the champion team, they have to rebuild quite heavily, Dev. It does suck to say that, but it is just the nature of the beast.
The thing is, like, the Silex, he used to play on this squad, right? Like, he has that experience. It's been a while. He's been out of the game. Yeah, like, his mechanics might not be there, but he still plays the game regularly. And so he still understands the game, and he's been a reasonably active coach/manager for some time. And when he did play, he played Diesel's roles basically 1 for 1. He was that support player. So you'd think that he could just slip in and fit that role and fit the team. And with all the firepower that the rest of Wildcard possesses, you'd think that they would still be able to carry that torch. But I think there's just been a massive demotivation for this roster. And I really want to see that change. I know it can change.
Yeah, no, it definitely can. One team that has done a bit of changing since last season is Rhythm. I think they're in a new light. Players like Ghoul and Supremacist, obviously, we've seen them really. I would say they've gone to town in this new season. They've done decent, all things considered, beating Order first and foremost, and even keeping it close with Rafflecopter, who have really had a massive start to their season, bar today, I will say. But Leb, no Vaix, or number 9, I should say, Nova 9, and Drex, these guys have really pulled it together. And it's a roster that I'm really intrigued on watching.
Yeah, Rhythm, I think, have definitely a high skill cap, and we've seen some really amazing things from them. Look, they might have lost out to Rafflecopter, but they beat Order last week, and it was pretty challenging for them getting relegated. They did lose that relegation match to Rafflecopter, but yeah, they got back in thanks to Meloncat disbanding. And look, I think that this is Rhythm's chance to make a difference. Unfortunately, they did lose a couple of their players to other teams like Ruffle, for example. And they're playing with some new blood like Supremacist. Now, Ghoul's not exactly new blood. He's been around in the past, but hasn't quite played at this level. Rhythm, honestly, watching them play, I really enjoyed their play style, and with the results that they had, like they gave Ruffle a decent run for their money, and they took down Order. So I'm confident that they should win this game, honestly.
Oh, that's a big call. It's a big start for us. Let's
But
have
I
a
am
look.
1 for 3 at predictions. So.
So don't listen to Dev, basically, is what you're saying. But let's have a look at the map. Vito is, of course, a crucial part as to where we end up in the storyline. We get to Tsao Cafe, which used to be, I feel, used to be such a good map for Wildcard, but has slowly been diminished by, you know, the issues they're having. Likewise, on the other side, Rhythm, we haven't seen a lot from them either.
Yeah, so the only real time I can see from Rhythm looking in the last couple months on this map was against Rufflecopter in the relegations. Now, it was the only map that they actually won in that series, the series that actually got them relegated, and they only narrowly won 8-7. You look over on the Wildcard camp, and they've lost it recently a couple of times quite badly, and most notably would be against Q-Confirm in the opening game of Apex South, 7-2.
Yep.
Pretty embarrassing, but it was also the first game back without Diesel, so I think you got to cut them a little bit of slack there. And since then, last week at OCN, Wildcard did take down LFO 7-5, which was their first win, you know, as part of, you know, the new season. So we'll see whether they can bounce back.
And that they will have to. We've given them time, we've given them games, and now Wildcard, they have to stand up to their own word. They have to stand up to who we know them to be. A good opportunity here up against Rhythm on Cafe.
Time to dive right into it for Rhythm. Last time they played this map against Ruffle, they actually banned the Thatcher and the Jaeger. Thatcher's pretty normal, but the Jaeger can throw a spice in there. Is the Thatcher gone down? Tends to be one of Wildcard's favorite bans as well. They're most banned by far on this map. Blackbeard and Ace coming in as a close second. Wouldn't be surprised to see that Ace floated here potentially. And there it is. That's what they banned against LFO. They're not really... I guess Ace is one of those ops where, like, yeah, if we're not going to use him, we prefer the other hard breaches, then, yeah, happy to just ban him out, deny a nice gun from the enemy and those smoke grenades as well. Nothing too crazy here just yet. Mirror ban, very common. We saw the mirror on Cafe earlier today, actually.
Yes.
And mirror can be quite powerful on Cafe, especially when you've got Jaeger or Wamai banned out, which might be the case here. Okay, banned. All right, so Jaeger or Wamai in. So it means it's definitely going to be revolving around shield play. Can't hide behind a mirror window. You've got to hide behind a deployable shield. And the Kaid gone down means it's going to be a little bit easier to breach any walls. So you're just going to be dealing with mute jammers or bandit batteries.
Well, there's so much that goes into just a simple game of Siege. And, you know, from the outside, when you ones, clear the util, and it's easy. But as we've seen, one little shake-up in a team, I hate using the word one little, because it's definitely not a little shake-up for Wildcard, but it can completely derail any progress. So we are looking to Silex, we're looking to Geo, we're looking to Vinny. It's a beautiful time for them to be stepping up, and the community are with them. The Snap Fitness community vote has them at 60%. And I would say this is actually, you know, like last year I would have told you you're barking mad that Rhythm are even this close to being able to do anything to Wildcard, but this season, that is a fair assumption.
Absolutely it is. Now, I was going against the grain a little bit with my Rhythm pick for this game and also for my Rufflecopter pick for Elevate. Now, I thought both of those predictions were very plausible, but I was wrong with my first one. I was also wrong with Order over Bliss, but everyone was wrong, so I'm not too upset about that one. I think that was a true upset. No one saw that coming. So we'll see whether I'm right for once. I like this aggressive C4 pre-ripped, waiting for this hatch to be opened. This may well have been a situation where Rhythm have voted this and seen where Wildcard like to run. Emo just dodges it in time, and Drex will get out of dodge.
I honestly wish we would see more of that. That kind of stuff is what I live and breathe for. Now, Emo Rin, don't think they were able to spot that player on the second floor who was looking for an early flank. So if they're able to make this work early on, never mind. Vinny's been given a little bit of intel there, it seems. just being cautious, nudging around the corner now. Supremacist on the other side of things. Leb as well, close by. So just needs to be cautious in their attempt, making their way into that top floor and clearing things out.
Start here for Wildcard. Taking some map control, time's ticking away. This is the raiding bomb site. The plan is always to go and take top floor control and then use this bark in the vertical play. Start flushing out those players on site. Nice use of the Yana there to just shut down that Aruni gate. Great thing about using Yana for that is it's a replenishable resource, right? You're not actually wasting a flashbang. Speaking of, a couple of flashes sent forward. And great job there, Gio holding the angle while Vinny covers off that Banshee, but there's still a lot of utils set up here, and Vinny is going to have to clear it. Oh, Gio just takes the fight. There you go.
I mean, they were very close together there. Could have been an opening, but it's just Gio doing Gio things. This is the roster that we have come to know and love. Always happy to take engagements. And I think one thing I didn't talk about in the pre-show for this matchup in particular is I really hope we see Wildcard lean into a more aggressive playstyle, more loosey-goosey than what we're used to seeing them. That's not a bad C4. It tickles the foot of Gio, but doesn't find anything in the end.
Except for that Vulcan shield, which does make the floor lava a little bit there. Nice nade comes through, but Ghoul safe for now. What's Leb doing? Pat needs to cover off this, but he's got too many things he's got to cover. Caught from two different angles. Is there a refrag? No! What is happening? Vinny's got to clean up here. It's just Ghoul, not Leb. Ghoul left. A 1v3, but great cover from Gio. A 3k on the round for the buck, and Wildcard starts strong.
I mean, on face value, that looked super dangerous. You know, it looked like there was only one player holding that reading push so that the plant could go down, but it was anything but that. Vertical lines left, right, and center. And even though they had two coming from pillar to try and diffuse the situation, that's the defenders I'm talking about, Wildcard were ready for it. And as you saw there, a 3-1 end to the half. To the round, sorry. My goodness, it's been a long one. A 3-1 end to the round definitely is indicative of what Wildcard have been able to do. Really pick them apart here. So Rhythm are going to need to step their game up now. It looks like Wildcard have found their own rhythm, finally.
Ooh, I like that, Rob. See if they can keep that momentum going against Q Confirm. They only won 2 rounds on this map. Already halfway there. Look on the bright side. And, well, Rhythm aren't going to dwell too much on the mistakes of the past. They'll just keep rotating over to Bar now. Nice setup once again, leaning into that Goyo. No Aruni this time around. Leb's instead on the Wamai. I like this, though. Wamai and Jaeger both to protect these two pivotal Goyo shields. Nice holes pre-opened as well by Drex to make it so that they can toss C4s up from down inside train. Up through the floor. Give a nice surprise party present for someone in Cigar Shop. Rex just running around looking for drones offside. Very underrated. Early round drone hunting.
Well, it unfortunately hasn't paid off for them in this one. All drones still up for Wildcard. A handful out in use. Just one for now. And Supremacist, what are you looking to do, Supremacist? What kind of cheek are you up to down in Bakery there? Surely you're not going to do what I think you're going to do. Surely not.
Watching. Oh, he's muting the air jab! Oh, this is genius! He's just muted the air jab! That's only come through in the patch just this season. That is totally fair game, bro. Just go for it. You would get at least 1 kill. They would have no idea. Supremacist, you're breaking my heart right now by falling back. You've got to commit.
Oh. That could have been so much fun to have seen that. Unfortunately, that pretty much, the opportunity, the window is now gone. It looks like Wildcard Using that Gemini to take a lot of control there. Drex hasn't found anything with a C4. And this is Wildcard taking control the western side of the map, but Rhythm have bunkered down over in the bar cocktail.
Yeah, Rhythm's starting to peel away. Like you said, that C4 from Drex found nothing and he's been pushed back. Pat does have concussions, but no explosives left, so he can't clear off that shield in backstore. And he has one nade left, but aside from that, there's not a lot of explosives remaining for Wildcard to clear that final shield. It's the risk of only bringing the 2 impacts and the 2 grenades on this lineup.
I don't know whether that was just my sight, but that looked awfully close there. Vinny not entirely sure what's coming from behind, and I mean, that would be fair. Drex was causing quite the havoc there. And Wildcard will look to edge closer to the site, taking the space inch by inch, but they don't have anything substantial yet, Dev.
That's the final explosive from Wildcard gone, and I think that shield is still intact, so it'll be very difficult for Wildcard to deal with this. Actually, is the shield gone? Looks like it may well be. Can't tell from this angle. The shield is still there, and Ghoul still doing some work. Then for the trade, and now is the final push.
And that's not what you want from Emo. Leb's still behind. They're going to be careful, and that's what I'm talking about. They get pinched from both sides. The air jab went off. It went unnoticed, and Leb was allowed to come in from behind of Cigar and pretty much dismantle that final push, that final attack. Rhythm. That's what we needed to see from them.
Good patience there displayed by Rhythm as well. They just waited. They know that the way Wildcard are playing these days, sometimes it's just a matter of waiting for that moment when Wildcard starts to fall apart, when they don't really have a solid execute planned. About 15 seconds left in the round. Silex ran on in, try and get that plant down, but it was not happening at all. It's easily covered off, a player simply watching that angle, no trade to come through, and then it was just straight into the meat grinder for Wildcard.
Getting lined up is never fun. So what do we owe the pleasure for Rhythm down in basement?
Technically, it's the ground floor.
Very true, very true.
I always call this basement, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I'm terrible for it. I think I'm just lazy, you know? I think I'm just lazy.
Same.
But that's okay. You can call me out for that. That's fine. That's fine, Deb.
Oh, don't worry. I will every day of the week. Ooh, there's a new phase skin here on Leb's MPX. R6 share skins. This is one of my favorite cameras. I love that one. Lots of good vision. You can see all the way towards piano with that one. Here for Rhythm, a lot of information and a lot of information denial. Got 2 dedicated info ops with the Mozzie and the Valk, and 2.5/3 info denial ops, the Mute, the Mozzie, and the Vigil. And Ghoul just on the smoke to tie it all together and make sure that he can hold down on site pretty safely. But this is definitely a roam-centric kind of lineup for Rhythm. And onus is on Wildcard to make sure they can deal with that.
Well, with their initial steps, that is looking like their first and foremost intention.
They're taking top down. It looks like they are.
Yep.
Ooh, I like that bulletproof camera as well. Drex has a bit of info.
Just waiting for the contact now. Drex can peek up as needed. Crosshair, oh, hasn't been spotted. Obviously, visual signals are going to be raining out. There we go. I don't know whether he intended to fall back or not, but he certainly has. And they've forfeited top floor for now, but Wildcard's still unaware of it.
The thing about this info denial, even if you get past those mute jammers, the Mozzie pests, still second-guessing everything you know because of that vigil. Nova's gotten all the way back to site. Drex as well. This is so good from Rhythm. They're actually not committing to the roam. They're just roaming to waste time, falling back, heavy info denial, and then whittling away that clock for Wildcard. And I think this is a great play. Means that Rhythm in the late round are probably going to be on 5v5 for the execute, and that's exactly what happened last round Wildcard fell to pieces.
Game Oh, Gio. My goodness.
Oh, no.
Not being able to catch the player rotating on site. I'm sure that will come back to bite them in the end, but very fortunate to still be alive there. That could have been a big opening kill to take down the Buck with no openings in train or dining.
Gemini drops through as well for some info, but Leb easily shoots that. See, so many good positions on site. Gio doing his best here. Is this from Novakes? Was there anyone on that drone? I don't think there was. Wildcard, how are you letting this happen? Surely there's a punish indeed. Unfortunately for Wildcard, Gio does fall, but here we go for Wildcard. Emo's going massive.
That's exactly what you want from Emo Rin. Such a big player stepping up at a big time. 5 seconds left. It's Leb to try and deny here. No C4 in hand. Has to go for pure and raw contact and cannot make it past the vertical hole. Wildcard with mere seconds left on the clock. Claw second round.
But damn, that got so close. Wildcard might have taken that round with a couple of players left over, but man, if Emo hadn't found that double kill, I really don't think there was any universe in which Wildcard could take that. Rhythm played quite well there, and also a bit of a red flag, the fact that Novakes was able to get up that red stairs and try and enable that flank. You know, if he was maybe a bit better on his shot, if there was a little bit better timing, then he could have done some serious damage there. Wildcard need to notice that and think, okay, guys, we can't let that happen again.
Certainly warning signs.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
And,
they can.
you know, a roster like Wildcard, they will adapt on the fly as they need to. So hopefully that's the warning sign they were needing. And now we'll see a different approach in a certain way. Back into reading. Unsuccessful on their last attempt. In fact, it was probably Wildcard's most convincing round.
Yeah, they just picked apart at the start, weren't they? And
Yeah.
started the momentum strong for
10 seconds
Wildcard. Not sure I can say that this will be particularly attacker or defender sided, honestly. I'm going to have a look at the
Attackers' objective is to locate a
Q
bomb.
confirm game, see if I can see whether Wildcard maybe had something going against QC on their attack, their defense rather favored. Let me have a look. So Wildcard's only rounds that they won against Q confirm were on their attack. So it's kind of concerning here because in a lot of cases you'd say, well, Wildcard, you know, even if they only go 2-4 or 3-3 half on their attack, at least they've got defense to fall back on. But historically here against QC, they lost 3 out of 3 of their defenses, so I don't think that's much to rely on.
The other question for me comes around what would Wildcard be more confident on? You know, I think back to... Oh, no, never mind. I think back to the conversation that we had about, you know, the fact that Silix has come on board. Would it be easier or harder to play on attack or defense? Like, I just don't know what the call would be, because obviously on attack, they have that individual prowess, just like you're seeing from Gio right now. He's happy to try and make that contact, but on defense, it's definitely a little bit more disjointed. Although defense is usually the easiest side for a team. Catch 22, Dev.
Yeah, it's a hard call. My instinct is that attack would be the thing that suffers more when you're replacing a player like Diesel. See, for now, Wildcard, some progress. How does that Banshee survive that? It's unfortunate. Especially with Wildcard not bringing many explosives. That's, such a big deal. Drex hits a nasty shot there onto Gio. Surely a nade has to come through and clear out this Vulcan shield. Actually shot, I believe, and eventually Vinny starts to march on down White Hallway, but he doesn't have a player to refrag with him thanks to Gio already falling.
Now the big issue is going to be that vertical control. How many lines are they going to be able to create without Gio going down so early here? This is not what Wildcard would be hoping for. And Rhythm, they can sit pretty right now. They can wait for these players to come to them because it's exactly what Wildcard are going to need to do. There's little to nothing to work on right now. And there's so much util still that Wildcard will need to get through.
Pat and Geo down. Massive loss for Wildcard. So many players left for Rhythm. 25 seconds left, would you believe it? Where are Wildcard?
Oh, they are in the grave, Dev, because Rhythm pulled back the round to make it flawless. What a round.
Certainly a way to make a statement for Rhythm, and that's evened up now 2-2. Wildcard, sometimes we see great things and sometimes it all falls apart. Rhythm are not giving them any space to breathe whatsoever, and we still haven't seen that Wildcard that we've been searching for, that looser, more confident Wildcard. That's the thing that's missing right now. As soon as Wildcard have a single setback, it starts to spiral and the effects can be seen throughout the whole round. Wildcard need to start waking up and frenzying themselves out of this slumber, out of this hibernation that they're in. These are some of the most talented players in the region and they're just not digging their heels in. They're just not showing it.
And look, we all know that I first and foremost, I am not an analytical commentator, but one trend that is really shining through right now in this matchup in particular is the 2 rounds that Wildcard have been able to successfully take. Not going to say have entirely come about, but have been given the opportunity by 2 big plays. Geo on that top floor clear in the first round, and then Emo Rin on the 2K entry down in Kitchen. So right now, it looks like that Wildcard, the more they give their players, the more they give each other the room to move and the room to just be the incredible individual players that they are, the better and luckier they will be in these rounds.
At some point, they've got to get back on the horse. I mean, I just can't see a world where Wildcard doesn't once again play like they used to. I just can't imagine that, honestly, Rob. So when is it going to happen? I think got to start somewhere.
I think we've got to be completely honest here, and we've got to say that, you know, maybe stage 1 is going to fall at the wayside until we can find a replacement for Diesel, or until potentially, I mean, there's a big potentially Diesel can return, which it definitely does not sound like is going to happen. I don't know. It just seems like they're so wounded, and, you know, we have a good, I would say we have a good relationship with most players in the region, and Wildcard is no exception. You know, they are, I would consider them close friends, and it just feels so bad to consider the fact that this is still harming them so much 4, 5, 6 games into it. So it is really going to come down to it. This is a gnarly line from Drex, by the way.
Vakes has found the first. Oh, air jab shuffles him back, but it doesn't matter. It's Silex who went down. On a massive loss in terms of the fragging department, Silex has been under a lot of pressure to deliver the goods here as that coach stand-in, and he just hasn't had impact that he would have wanted. Desperately trying to fill in for his team after being out of the game for so long. At least now he can sit on cameras and help advise the team from a less active position. Maybe being dead will help him do that more so. These other guys can just focus on not tunnel visioning too much, which has been a serious problem for Wildcard. Just play a bit looser. I reckon it can work, but no, Vakes has found a second.
I mean, that is ambitious from Drex. Geo looking to hit a crisp shot, but not going to be given anything just yet. It's just falling one by one by one. Drex has been able to get away. Leb's still down below with a C4 in hand. Wildcard have not been given any room, but that may be something to work on from Emo Rin.
Only 20 seconds though, and Leb's found Geo. A lack of hard breach is really hurting Wildcard, and the lack of explosives as well. Pat shut down. Could it be a double spray? Emo can't find all the targets, and Rhythm take that lead for the first time.
Now, the confidence would have to be starting to hit an all-time low for Wildcard in this matchup. And it's just about what they're able to do. Can they bring themselves out of this slump? At the very least in this matchup, can they keep this game close? Because don't forget, it's not, you know, it is 3 stages that they need to play through. They already have 3 points on the board against LFO. So from my perspective, it's about keeping in the race, keeping your head in front. We don't have to see the best season from them. You know, we don't expect them to go up against the teams like Order and Knights and pull away 3 points or even a single point. But definitely in these matches, Rhythm, LFO, Bliss, you know, these are the games that we need to see them taking these points. And right now, it is going to have to be the tale of 2 halves. They're going to have to dust themselves off and get back on the saddle.
Only shining light I can see here for Wildcard is the fact that going into an attack on a bomb site, they already won so far. But like you mentioned earlier, that was on the back of that 2K from Emo, which you really can't rely upon. They had a couple changes here in the operator lineups. Still heavy info denial based for Rhythm, but Lebs moved on to the Malusi instead of that Valkyrie. I think that's a really smart move for a couple reasons, but just give Novaix a moment to try and spawn peek if he wants to before I get too into it. Oh, Pat almost had that missed opportunity. But for Rhythm here, bringing that Malusi means that if they waste Wildcard's time enough, then it's... Oh, surely not. Every time I try and make a point, Wildcard is just... I'm so scared for them because Rhythm are just making these aggressive plays. To quickly summarize, Malusi, right? So firstly, Wildcard aren't bringing many explosives. Only 4 explosives every single round. The 2 nades on the Yana, which is now dropped, and the 2 impacts on Pat. So they even have less explosives this round. And the Valkyrie isn't necessarily as important. You've got already some info. Bring that Malusi in. If you're wasting a lot of time, it comes down to a late push, and I don't think Wildcard have enough util to deal with the Banshees.
That is a really big concern, and I'm sure it'll be a red thumb at the end of the day. Stick out like a red thumb, I should say. And now Geo progressing quite deep, quite early as well. Those drones giving him a lot of intel. There we go, top floor clear now. That's 1 of 3 floors that they need to go through right now. And Rhythm are doing such an incredible job of not actually taking fights, but just engaging. Look at the drone economy for Wildcard now. Half gone with 1:30 left on the clock. And the more they continue to hold them at bay, the harder this gets. Like you were saying, Dev, those impacts, they're going to be nightmarish.
Salix is all out of drones. Emo's all out of drones. These players that you really need to be droning up. That's massive. Even for flank watch. Need to have a couple set out. 1 minute left. Geo hasn't even begun to work on the floor. Quite a few C4s on the board. Still 2 in the pocket for Rhythm. This is what Wildcard need to be cautious of at this point. Vulnerable to those C4s fighting back through the floor.
1 used, 2 to go now. And it came, when push came to shove in the last round, Wildcard were just able to sneak on site, find those picks. And these C4s are not hitting the mark. Are they best just holding on to them right now?
Wow.
Down goes Vinny. That should never happen.
Drex unpunished, takes a lot of damage to the gas, and Silex capitalizes. Ghoul really threw his teammate under the bus there. 15 seconds, Silex has to make a move. We need to see this coach sub get that plant down. Emo looking to push in from the other side, but caught out. Novaix is right there. Silex can't plant, and Geo trades, but 2v3 is a desperate position. Geo's been the man of the game for Wildcard. Pat has to cover, but Novaix denies the plants. And so there's no way Wildcard can win the round. Rhythm take the half 4-2.
There's a glimmer of hope, but it's starting to fade. The light is faltering. And Wildcard's day in OCN Stage 1 is getting a little bit worse now. Currently 4-2 down. We do get to swap R's. We get to go to defense for them, which notoriously has just been such a hard defense to crack for any team. But right now, just don't know if we can hold true to the same statement.
We'll have to see. Rhythm very much in the driver's seat of this affair. Very nice, versatile operator lineup we're seeing from them as well. Main distinction between what Rhythm's running and what Wildcard were running is at Ash on Supremacist instead of the Yana / IQ. And look, I can see the Yana pick. Yana's got 2 nades. She's got the Gon 6, so that's 3 explosives in total. So actually equal to Ash in number of explosives, plus the information you can get from that Yana device as well. But I think the mute Rhythm ran just made it too difficult. Supremacist though, him and Drex going to be the ones to clear off this util that Wildcard are bringing to the table. Evil Eyes and 3 shields, 1 on the smoke and 2 on Goyo. There's a lot to deal with here. Let's see whether Rhythm know how to play this game.
It's one way of putting it. And my goodness, Rhythm. My God, 2 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. Not only have they pushed back Pixel, which Emo Rin is still sticking by. Oh no! But they've also dealt with both Falcon shields. Dev.
Yeah, Rhythm most certainly know how to do the Pixel dance. That is fantastic result. As you said, 50 seconds in and they've cleared both shields. There should still be 1 in backstore, but man, Rhythm is just so good on their time management here. Drex and Supremacist beginning to move on in. They'll meet Emo. So much info on him. Emo Rin's that impact player that we've talked about so much in the past, but he's down and out thanks to Supremacist. No holds barred. Rhythm find the first pick, gassed out, but Supremacist is still safe.
I mean, look. We can look at the bright side there. Emo Rin still bought them an additional 50 seconds after they managed to clear those shields. And they still haven't dealt with White Stairs, but Vinny just gets absolutely crunched. He hasn't fallen yet. Their util clear is unbelievable for Rhythm right now. And oh,
what is that?
What? How?
They just found a double on the 1 spray.
Pack it up. Pack it up. It's all onto Gio's shoulders here for the first round of the second half. And Supremacist, he closes it out with a 4K.
Lo and behold, Rhythm go nuclear against Wildcard in that first attack. My God, what did we just witness? I talked about the Ash pick, right? Now, I didn't mean it in terms of Supremacist is going to go and get a 4K, but my God, look at this. Bang, 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 bang. Beautiful slow-mo there from production. Info on this last player as well from that drone in the hallway. Just everything worked out down to a T.
I'm gonna start a petition that I'd like everyone in chat to sign, and it's to replace all sound effects with Dev. Literally on point. Like, you would make this game even better, you know?
Let's just pray that one day we have some kind of sound bug and we can't hear all the audio. And then I'll just fill them all, let you play by play.
Let's hope that never happens. All fun and games, but not for Wildcard. I mean, Rhythm have looked so good. Look, take the Supremacist 4K. But okay, hang on. That Supremacist basically just added all of the kills in one round to his tally. So, you know what? Don't even worry about it. But their util clear there, second to none.
For sure. That's something that Wildcard just did not do so well. And I was really critical of Wildcard only bringing the Yana and the Zephyr I don't know. I guess they did, in theory, have enough explosives there. They had the same number as the Ash there, but something about just having the projectiles from the Ash can be so much better. You can actually put it quite far away and it'll still explode and destroy the shields. I don't know, just so many things add together there. For Wildcard now, defending Kitchen. They're not going for as heavy a roam in terms of the info denial roam. They've got the castle, but I think those barricades are on the first floor. Geo's just doing a loose roam.
My opinion, I like this. I like to see, you know, just let Geo do what Geo can do. Again, if Xenox was on the broadcast, he'd be speaking the praises. So it's just, there are some incredibly sharp individuals. And I know it's probably hard to see, but just to let them do, oh, wow, Leb. Really nice early line there. That, I'm pretty sure that just pushed Geo all the way back.
Of this Drex and Supremacist together, ready to refrag. Geo's retreated all the way back. Rhythm 1.5 minutes remaining, and it looks like they have control of the 3rd floor and almost all of the 2nd floor. Getting to it. Now the Buck will move in and start to open up all this flooring. 3 C4s, I believe. 2 C4s. The Wildcard camp. Pat just waiting to hopefully find one.
Well, it would be a gift from the heavens right now, and something that they definitely need.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Still just waiting patiently for this. Not looking to overextend. That's not going to hit the mark either. Both C4s coming out then. Just not good enough from Wildcard. And now there's only 1 C4 left on the board. Time is definitely of the essence.
The time front, definitely onus is on Rhythm. 30 seconds left. Gas, how many left for Emo? Still a bit of time. Emo's got 2 gas left. He's lost his shield, but there you go. It comes through the drop. And the opening pick for Rhythm, Pat goes down, and the plant's starting to go down.
Yeah, they're
Wildcard, that gas is just not doing it for them.
They were watching Emo's every position, but right now I don't know if they can get to the diffuser. They're going to have to try to take the straight up engagements there. Drex getting caught. Leb making it possible now. Is Drex in? No, he's not. He got stuck. He was held outside a freezer for so long. And on that, Wildcard take a much needed round.
Finally, a moment to breathe for Wildcard. They've had their first defense round. Against Q-Confirm, they couldn't even find a single one, but now they're getting back into it. But after a 2-4 attack half, I don't know whether it's still even possible. We need to see this momentum build. We need to see Wildcard start to step it up, because even that round right there, that was Rhythm executing very, very late, and Wildcard trading out every single kill. Whereas if Rhythm play a bit more assertively, I don't know if Wildcard are going to be able to have that clock on their side.
I agree. Could buy yourself so much, I don't know, leeway, so much room to breathe, but Wildcard now. I mean, that's the sign that we needed to see there, right? We needed to see that ability from them, and it gives us the glimmer of hope. It gives us a chance to see Wildcard, regardless of their current standings, continue to just take games, take points, which is essentially, from my understanding, the most important part of this is just making sure, again, they keep themselves in the race. They don't give up without a fight.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think the most important thing for Wildcard is winning games. Honestly, I don't think that getting top 4 or top 1 is the #1 priority for Wildcard right now. I think the #1 priority is just getting back on the horse. Just proving that you're more than a shadow of your former selves. Proving that you're not completely defeated by your own mental state. This is what I need to see from Wildcard. I want to see them start to build that confidence back and bring some of the fire that we've seen from the past, even if they end up in a poor placing at OCN, even if they don't make playoffs, you know, God forbid. I can't imagine that happening on a normal day, but look, that's okay. That's acceptable. Wildcard, priority for them is starting to get back on track.
Gio, settle down. Well, that's some big intel. That's some big intel, surely. Waiting for that C4 to come out into piano there. No. It's... Well, I mean, shots are being fired. You can't complain too much. Oh, that's not what you like to see.
Leb definitely has the advantage in this gunfight. Gio very much cut off. Trying to get more info, scanning out, sees a player over at New Balcony. He's trying to help his team make sure that this isn't easy for Rhythm. Another missed C4. Wildcard holding onto this top floor as long as they can, but here comes the file in through bar. Ghoul is the first to fall. Supremacist looking to follow up, but he wants to grab that diffuser first. Pat feeling the pressure now. Rhythm falling flat against this brick wall.
Oh, I love that from Silix. Pat took all of the attention away, allowed Silix to push in, and now Leb, what can he get done? Somehow, Silix comes out on top of that. I don't even know what Leb was trying to achieve. I think maybe ran out of bullets, trying to hide, trying to duck for cover. And Vinny from underneath will find the kill. Wildcard are not giving up without a fight. There's signs of life.
Definitely, there is a flicker of hope here. Honestly, if I'm Wildcard, if they get 1 point here, that's something, right? Like, at least don't just fall by the wayside completely. Don't just lay over and take it.
Oh, it's... No, then... Now, if there's one thing that Wildcard would do, at least they'll try to make it interesting. Geo6 picking out of the Vigil for the Valk. A lot of potential Valk cams here without that IQ. So much information.
It's kind of funny there. The Valkyrie was 6-picked onto, and the IQ was 6-picked off of. So I really like that from Wildcard. Not having the Valkyrie there to begin with, maybe Rhythm would have kept that IQ had they seen that Valk. So I really like that.
Bit of a spanner in the works. A little bit of mind games, why don't you?
That's it.
I mean, I've no doubt, but we'll kind of keep a close eye on what happens for Rhythm here then. See whether that intel is going to be something that they really struggle with. There's just so much, there's so many great places on Cafe, especially on top 4, for you to place those eyes and just run away with so much intel.
Set up from Wildcard. Remember how quickly it all fell to pieces for them last time. They went for this bar cocktail defense, 2 shields at Pixel. It was, I believe, 50 seconds into the round, and it was all clear. Let's see this once again from Rhythm's perspective. And the difference this time is Vinny's getting nice and aggressive. Oh, the pre-fire does not work. The flashbangs go deep, but they're far past him. He finds the kill. That's massive. That is the hard breach of Vinny. He does so much, and Pat jumps in as well with the run out. Punished, but it was well worth it. This is huge for Wildcard, and it's exactly what we've been looking for.
That is just a change in pace, a change in ideas about how you're going to approach things. You could see right from the get-go that Vinny was looking to play aggressive, whether it was the default cam or the cam being thrown out from Geo, which I would suppose that would be the main game there. They had so much information to go off, and it just allowed them to absolutely pick them apart. You could see the live pinging coming in, and now Rhythm have to try and fight back in a 2 versus 4 with no piano control. I don't even know whether they were able to get those... Okay, okay. God, that was close.
Can we have a look at that? I think that was actually shot over the reinforcement. Yeah, so without even, there you go. That's pretty impressive that Drex was even able to land that shot. That is very impressive. But fortunately for Vinny, he just backs on off. Doesn't want to give Rhythm way back into this game.
Bomb located by attackers.
I don't know whether they still have those shields down. It's what I was alluding to before at Piano. So they're going to have to go for pure contact. My God, Drex is absolutely gnarly when he starts hitting these shots. But they know where he is. And it's an easy finish to the round for Wildcard. Vinny playing an vital role in that round.
Massive round for Vinny. 3 kills all up. 2 on the run out for Pat. Really well played, having Vinny distract with this early aggression in the Piano hold. And this is the thing, right? Like, we can credit Rhythm and say how great their clear was, but at the same time, it was like they were playing a dry run. They were doing a great utility setup, but they just weren't necessarily prepared for a Wildcard player to be ready to throw a spanner in the works. And for them, it was both Vinny with that aggressive Piano presence and Pat who jumped out. And that's exactly what we want to see from Wildcard. That's bringing the fire, bringing the fight to Rhythm, rather than letting Rhythm play their game.
And, you know, the intel they had in that round, you could see it in that replay as well. They knew exactly where those players were, and they executed it perfectly. And now, Rhythm, they can't afford not to bring Drex on the IQ. You know, they don't have that choice anymore. That decision has been made for them. They can't really allow them to get away with that again. And Wildcard had actually 6-picked from the Valk onto Malusi for Geo. So all good news at this point. And it's looking up for Wildcard.
Certainly is. Looks like those castle barricades are used for the bakery hold there. One on the small bake. Single door. Gives a bit more freedom to the player who plays at the cupcake stand, which is in this case Vinny. Still got to rotate into small bake, but it just means he's got more freedom inside bakery, protected from that north window. I really like that from him. But here it comes from Rhythm. Looks like a map control take once again. The way Rhythm liked to roam on this site when they were defending was with heavy info denial, your Vigil, Mozzie, Mute. Wildcard not really playing into that. In fact, I think most of those Mute jammers are probably on site. So it's only a matter of time until Rhythm take this control. It's just to see if Wildcard can hold on once it does eventually come to that latter phase of the round when the executor's nigh.
Well, Rhythm haven't wasted a lot of time on the 3rd floor, which is what you like to see. And, I mean, so far so good. There's only 2 drones down here, and Drex is so worried. Always looking, always being cautious. And, of course, they haven't really shown face here, Wildcard. So, for all that Rhythm know, there is a Valk on the board. And now, as Leb looks to gain more ground for Rhythm, they need to continue to play off the back of this. And with a minute 30 left on the clock, those vertical lines are going to start to be established. They just need to be cautious of those 2 C4s.
That's it. This is the next minigame. Phase 2. Phase 1 was roam clear. Phase 2 is the vertical game. Leb versus the C4s. Looks like Ash is also helping with this vertical game, opening up these lines. You'll see Wildcard trying to play away from that soft floor as much as possible. No one playing in dishes. No one playing in coffee. No one in these normal positions. So all this time Rhythm is spending clearing above them will be fruitless.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Really like this from Wildcard. And now they can sit back and just wait. Pat, this could be a big C4 if he's able to find it, but again, off the...
Oh, there it is!
Oh, he made me eat my own words. I was halfway through saying off the mark, and he just waits. He waits patiently, and that's the free one. They're going to try to get into freezer now, but Emo Rin will be there to support that player that's already in service. They're going in deep, but the shotgun's playing true. Pat picks up a 2K. Geo's there to support, and Supremacist has to try to win a 1 versus 4. It ain't going to happen. Not today. Wildcard go to match point.
This is certainly not a turn I expected, Rob, but we are seeing Wildcard finally get right back on that horse. Match point for them. I can't believe we're seeing this after such a shocking start to this game. They were down 5-2, and they've just won 4 rounds in a row. Rob, it's possible that Wildcard could take the 3 rounds here and complete that story arc all the way back in.
Not only the story arc, Dev, but they could defend all 3 stories. Top floor, bottom floor, and now, of course, in the middle as we go to reading. And they're going to have to do so to conclude, to finish on up. Insane from Wildcard. We had written them out. We were singing not their praises, but rather their demise. We had empathy for them, and they're shutting us up real quick.
Absolutely, and you know what? If you look at the standings where they are at the moment, at least as of the previous Playday, if Wildcard win this without going to OT, they'll be on 6 points. That will be above Rufflecopter at 5 points. It'll be above Order at 5 points, and they'll be on with Team Bliss in second place. It's also at 6 points. I think it'll come down to round difference, which I assume Bliss will win. That's 3rd place for Wildcard. That's very, very impressive.
And, you know, for those of you who have, you know, been tuned in this entire time for map 4, game 4 for the wildcard matchup, you'd be sitting there thinking that we're kind of going a little bit nutty, just a little bit crazy, talking about, you know, the issues that wildcard have had to face. But this right here is a true testament to the spirit of this team. You know, there's a lot going on for them. And the fact that they can be down 2-5 and somehow bring this back, you just have to sit back and give them credit.
I mean, imagine they do come back from 2-5. That's a 5-round sweep, reverse sweep, to win the map. That is massive. And look, I won't call it, but they certainly have the momentum squarely in their favor. And it's not just, you know, big plays. Like, we are seeing a lot of big multi-kills. For that round, it was Pat.
10 seconds remaining.
But it's not just single players going for big multi-kills. You know, everyone's on the scoreboard. I think it took 4 or 5 rounds for Salix to get his first kill. And while he's still struggling, and of course he is the forced substitute, he's holding his own. He's looking to be much more in his comfort zone. And I'm seeing that from all of these 5 players.
Yeah. And it's a place that I think a lot could fear, if I'm being completely honest, if we see a wild card start to bring it back on the latter part of this season. Don't forget, we're not even halfway through the season. Tomorrow night will mark the halfway point. And on that, if Wildcard can just continue to bring this team together like they have been and come over their own adversity, there'll be big times ahead.
Minus IQ pick from Drex. Previously it was Novakes who played it. And clearly Rhythm want to keep that Yana for information gathering plus the 3 explosives that come with. So instead Drex has jumped on the IQ. He saw that pulse earlier. He's going to see him again in all likelihood. In fact, they're just staring at each other through the wall. Spotted out though. Trying to clear off any magnets or any other utility. Rhythm have a pretty decent setup here. They're starting to take this top floor, but they've got to be careful about those C4s through the floor. There's lots of info thanks to Geo.
There is only 1 C4 remaining now, so once that's gone, once it's all said and done, they're going to have to try to fight. Raw and pure Emo Rin doesn't realize there's a drone on him, and that could well have been to his own demise. The ADSs surround both Silix.
Oh.
Emo.
A gunfight upstairs. Drex finally opens it up. He does punish Emorin. But Salix is still the lone man holding upstairs after Emo's gone down. How long can this coach hold on for? Not long enough. Drex cleans him up, and we may have match point on the cards here. Pat and Vinny and Geo look to step it up. Vinny started it off, taking down the Ash of Supremacists, and Wildcards start to relocate, start to move around and take up better positions. 40 seconds left. That was just a Gemini, but it's still something. Pat and Gio together have retaken this west side. Vinny is the lone player on site. He's about to meet the full brunt of what Rhythm have to offer.
Shotgun in hand, he swings wide! Ghoul isn't ready for it. Vinny doesn't realize, but Gio's just saved his life. Leb trades out efficiently and effectively. It's Gio and Pat. 10 seconds left. All they have to do is wait and play for this time. They need to ensure the 2 versus 2. Drex in an advanced position here, and Reading swings onto Pat. Gio, he eliminates the first, and now it's just into the 1v1. Leb forces it to OT, and we are going the distance.
This game could not get any more exciting, Rob. And what started to be a bit of a blowout for Rhythm, and then for Wildcard, has turned it up and delivered massive plays from Vinny and Gio to get it back to that point. But at the end of it, Drex held on just long enough, and then Leb to clutch the 1 versus 1. All the way to overtime now. Both of these teams locking in 1 point for their standings. And that second point for either of them is still going begging one team to take it in the next 2 or 3 rounds.
Well, that is the round they were looking for. They break the rhythm. It was 4 straight for Wildcard. And now the questions are in the air. Wildcard remain on their defense though. And it has looked extremely strong from them. Right now, Bar and Cocktail is actually sitting at a 50-50. And the last round they won, it was a very aggressive play from Vinny and Pat that kind of opened things up for them there out on the rappel of the west floor. So, how Wildcard adapt here? This is where the questions need to be asked.
Same story for Rhythm, really. I think we know their playbook at this point, the way that Rhythm like to attack this bomb site, but if Wildcard do the same thing or something similar to what they did last time, as you said, Pat going for a bit of a jump out, Vinny as well, how is Rhythm going to deal with that? They haven't brought the Nomad this time around, and they also haven't brought the Yana, which means no nades. Nades are that perfect ingredient that you want to clear out Vinny from that aggressive position in Piano, and the Nomad's that thing that you want to prevent the jump outs from Pat. Rhythm don't have either.
Well, what's Emo looking to do here? And what is Pat looking to do as well? Does he have the C4 in hand? Surely he's not going to go for a similar aggressive play. That he is. Have they gotten rid of that angle yet? It doesn't seem like it, but that one, that's the pixel shield gone. 1 more to go. And Pat is now stuck in no man's land.
That's also used his C4, which would have been really nice addition. Oh, he's going to be met with pressure from the window. Does he see the player on the other side? The spray comes through. Surely he needs to land this pistol out, but Vinny covers him. That's exactly what he needed. A jump out from the fireplace window and back in safely again. Wildcard find that first opening.
Do the You Could Be My Hero baby song, because that is what he needed. Vinny with a prompt play not only keeps Pat alive. Oh, Vinny again!
God, Vinny.
Oh, I don't mind this whatsoever. And now, Rhythm are antsy. What are Wildcard doing? You're never going to know. You're never going to be able to tell. And Emo-Rin, the magnet will support him in that position. I don't think they have any more explosives to get rid of it either. So now, Rhythm are going to have to fight bare bones.
Tooth and nail, as you say, no explosives left. What is this play here from Silex? Punish, but the trade comes through. Leb again. A 2v2 all of a sudden. Surely this hasn't been thrown away by Wildcard. They had a lead. They had match point. Now Rhythm have forced overtime. 2 players looking to claw this back, and drones are in abundance. Great info there from Novaix. Diffuser back again. Emo. What a great angle he has. And you see the player, he spots them for just a second, and he falls back. 30 seconds left. There's still a yellow ping on Gio. He goes down. No fakes! He's made it happen. Imorin's in a 1v2.
And now they know his position 100%. Leb to support this time, but he rips his head off. Nova's gonna stick it. Oh, Imorin. He knows exactly where he is. How does Novax hit that? It doesn't matter. They take round 13. Dev, you spoke about the drones in abundance. They had to have played a huge impact in that round in the final 20 seconds.
There's no doubt about it. What a round from Rhythm. No, Fakes in particular, Wildcard did so many things well, but this drone and that yellow ping was certain death for Geo. Imorin, insane shot onto Leb, but he couldn't land that last one. Novax just had him. A graze on the shoulder was enough to get Rhythm that match point they've been searching for.
Well, they've taken 1 point, Wildcard, and their back is well and truly up against the wall here. So,
there's no way that they're satisfied with that 1 point. No way.
never, never, never in a million years. When there's only 2 rounds in it, I mean, a 2-5 performance to bring that back, even just to go to overtime, is outrageous. But you know that this roster, this team, it's just not going to be good enough.
Turn our attention to the defense, but cocktail for Rhythm. They were flawless on this one. They won it twice, both times they played it. Wildcard, we're looking at you right now. It's your turn to step up. And I admit, I'm not massively confident on their chances. This is a tall order for them, and they really struggled on their attack.
Well, let's hope the trend doesn't continue there. And I know it's hard to look back on, but I love the aggression that Wildcard have shown on their defensive side. And it's definitely something that other teams are going to have to look at and be well aware of now. Because this could be a mainstay for the roster that is still trying to come to terms with how they are going to continue this season, how they're going to continue to stay competitive here. Leb, 13-6. He is having an unreal game against Wildcard right now.
And against some of his former players as well. Pat, particularly, used to play on the Rhythm roster way back in the day. Okay, when he was, alias was Thumbnail.
Oh, wow, that's going back a while.
It certainly is. Him and Leb were good mates. Leb flushed out, though, by Pat, thanks to that lifeline. There's always the second one, though. Second shield to hide behind, but that X-Kairos pellet gives the attack a couple of more angles. Drex also roaming below with no Vex. Let's see for Wildcard. How are they going here? A player above Skylight looking to take piano. They're just about ready for it. This is the thing that Wildcard have struggled with, always taking that next step.
Similar on the other side, Vinny has been a standout performer in this match. And now, when push comes to shove, Drex, you spoke about him on the roam, and he's had that perfect vertical line straight up into the piano bar. And there's nothing that they've got to show for it now. Wildcard in a 4v5, a minute left. They're wounded.
They can't even find him with the drones either. Vinny dancing, trying to duel that player, and there's Drex again from below. And Supremacist confirms that kill. Drex gets straight out of dodge. This is match point for Rhythm, and this is everything they could have asked for out of it. 40 seconds left in a 5 versus 3. Pat desperately trying to make himself a way into the site, but they need to get that diffuser. They need to get a move on.
This is like watching chickens with their heads cut off, running around trying to find any particular place. Oh, nice shot from Pat. Geo adds up. Imorin's going to go aggressive as well. Supremacist isn't going to know how close he is. Oh, this is it. 10 seconds left. It's all on the Leb in a 1v2 to save this and push the game to its limits. Imorin closes it out. Round 15 we go. it's going to need every bit from Rhythm to claw this out.
We are going to wring every drop of moisture out of this game until it is completely expired. Wildcard push us to that round 15, and monumental performances from Imorin, Gio, and Pat at the end of it. Great shots between them to push in for that 3 versus 5, frag it out and force that plant down.
5 seconds left.
Incredible effort from those players. And now for Wildcard, one last chance.
And what's interesting is they could have gone back to Bar Cocktail, but instead it is to Kitchen. And this was a Kitchen that was successfully defended twice from Wildcard. And on that, Rhythm. What do you bring? What do you say to a Wildcard that will not let this go?
There's one thing for certain, it's that it doesn't matter which team has the advantage in the early round, anything can happen in the late round. We saw that just now with Wildcard coming back from that 3 versus 5. We saw it the round prior, where Rhythm did the same thing, Novaics with the 4K.
Must locate and defuse a bomb.
And now, in round 15, we settle this. Wildcard going down, as you say, to Kitchen. They defended this successfully twice. And it looks like they're going for that exact same strategy. As for Rhythm, pretty much the same operator lineup. No Yana this time around. Novaics back on the IQ, so Drex is on that Zafia. Once again, going for the map take. Once again, Wildcard not contesting, unless that's Gio ready to shoot some drones up and early. Such a difficult task, right? If you're Wildcard, you're thinking, well, we know every single round Rhythm go for this map control clear. And we want to contest it, we don't want to lose any bodies doing so.
Oh, okay, Vinny.
Rotating
Cheeky. Yeah.
Trying to solidify this position, I think, in coffee and in where the dishes are, because it seems to be where Rhythm are pushing. Oh,
Gio! No, that's what you want from Supremacists. Whether they had intel or not, he was hard watching the line. And Gio will be kicking himself. That is 0 impact in the round from him. Banshees can be anywhere they like, but that is a monstrous opening kill. And one thing that seems to work for Wildcard really well is Imorin in VIP. Every single time he has played such a pivotal role in the late round push. Will he do it again?
will it be enough? Leb and Supremacist getting to work on this vertical play. C4's there. Gio was him and Pat to play the C4 game, and well, Gio taken out early. Vinny's trying to contest some vertical holes, just pre-firing through. Desperate. Hoping to find something every single time. This bakery hold from Wildcard has been bypassed, has been ineffective.
Oh.
What an angle from Leb. That's Silex going down. 50 seconds left. Wildcard sit in a 3 versus 5. This is everything that Rhythm have been pushing for.
They've worked hard. And they've fought valiantly here. Both of these teams, they know what they've got to do. See you later, Emo Rin. The impact player, they're falling like flies, and Wildcard, they rest on the shoulders of Vinny. It's a nice shot!
Vinny.
2 in a row! Oh my goodness, no fakes, close him down, but that is it. 8-7 Wildcard fall at the hands of Rhythm.
A game that needed all 15 rounds to settle it. Fighting tooth and nail, Wildcard and Rhythm go head to head, but Rhythm take it by storm in round 15. A monumental performance. And Wildcard have once again been slain.
8 players on double digits, 4 from either side. if that does not tell the story of how close this game really was, I don't know what will. Unreal. What a way to finish tonight, Dev. That is insane. How many close clutches, how many times did we see Wildcard or Rhythm down and out and somehow being able to bring that back? What a night.
Insane game and a fantastic showcase for Rhythm. Technically not the newest team in this league, but I just remember that moment from Supremacist, an insane 4K. This was a game of great 4Ks. My God, Rhythm certainly brought the fire, brought that fight to Wildcard, but even when we thought Wildcard had been pushed to the end, they kept on going.
I'm honestly quite speechless as to how tight this game was, how well both of these teams contested it. You know, I think Rhythm, yes, they've completely bamboozled all the predictions that we had, but this was not a game that was ever going to be out of the question. It was always going to be extremely close, and in the end, Rhythm have just absolutely bamboozled Wildcard in the last round.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for such a long time there, it looked like Wildcard had the momentum. And here you go, the snapshot, the overview of what was insanity.
That it was such a back and forth game, really a game of streaks. Rhythm really had such a strong first half, looking to take it 5-2. Wildcard came back with a vengeance. Rhythm then took match point in overtime. Wildcard pushed it deep, but Rhythm, the final moment, an incredibly dominant round all in all. At the end of it, a 5v1 against Vinny, who only was able to find two. A valiant effort from both teams. Wildcard certainly pushed it massively, though, at the end there. And what I'm really happy about, Manic, is that we got to really see flashes of that old Wildcard, and we got to see Wildcard start to come out of that shell just a little bit. Even though at the end of the day, Rhythm was the better team, and Rhythm copped a well-deserved victory.
You know, flashes of the old Wildcard, but also flashes of a new Wildcard. You know, how many times have we really seen them be so bold as to play aggressive like they were in some of those rounds? I think that is a testament as to what they've been able to do with this roster. You know, it is a shame what's happened, but it's good to see that it's not holding back from them, you know, really pushing the distance. But Rhythm, I can't get over that. What a performance it was from that roster. And we spoke to Drex well before the season started on Late Night Siege, and, you know, it was all positive vibes coming into this season, and clearly that has had an effect on this team.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the big things for Rhythm, right? They came in rejuvenated, right? They were relegated out of OCN, and that is rock bottom. That's as far down as you can go, right? If you're an OCN team, to be kicked out of the league. And they got a charity spot back in because Meloncat disbanded, and they wanted to prove that they deserved that spot. They're not getting relegated this time, not if they have anything to say about it.
Well, let's hear from Supremacist himself, because this was one for the ages. The smile says it all. A picture of 1,000 words. For us, that was one of the most intense games we've seen. So many massive moments. What was it like for you in the trenches?
Honestly, like, we really wanted to take this game out with a bang, you know, prove to everybody else that, you know, we can really bring it to these teams and actually step up when we need to. And when we're in the trenches, we like the order game. We don't let it, like, you know, affect us. You know, we're losing rounds. We were 5-2 up, I think it was. And you know what? Our mentality is what keeps us pushing forward. Keep the good mentality going, and just, yeah, keep going, man.
It was honestly amazing to witness. Now, you had some absolutely cracking rounds. That 4K, dude, was just absolutely nuts. I want to know, what's it take to build up confidence against some of these players that, you know, have been in Pro League season after season, and you're coming in and this is your debut at this level in OCN?
Yeah, I think the best thing is to just not doubt yourself, man. Like, everybody has the ability in this region to be a good player at the end of the day. And so many people discredit themselves and you know, allow the pressure to get to them in the high pressure situations. But I just I embrace it and I love the moment, and I just enjoy versing these super high quality, really great players who play against us, and the thrill of coming close with them and or beating them is what we fight for, and I love it, man. I just embrace the moment. So yeah,
It's awesome.
I mean, you're talking about embracing the moment. That's 2 overtimes against 2 of the best teams, not just in OCN, but obviously in ANZ. They are, Order and Wildcard, who are widely considered to be just nuts. Are you saying that it's your mentality that's keeping you through? Like surely you guys are doing the prep, you're doing the work prior to these matches.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like, we put in a lot of hard work. All of us really want it so bad this season. You know what I mean? Like, we're not X Rhythm, we're a brand new Rhythm, and that's like the name that we're trying to get out there. Like, we're basically debuting this season on the new Rhythm, the new us, the ones that are going to beat these teams, the ones that are going to push for playoffs and really try and leave our feet in the scene. You know what I mean? So yeah,
100%. No, look, I think that you've made a mark. Dev, you got a question?
I just wanted to say, mate, with that said, you are the new Rhythm. You're not getting relegated this time. Where are you going to end up this season in OCN?
We're definitely just aiming for top 5. I think that's super realistic for us. I think, having high goals is for usually on the game day stuff when you really say to yourself, like, we can beat these guys, we can bring it to them. And if we end up becoming, top 3, that'd be awesome. Well, more than what we expected, but we really, really want top 5 this season.
You are incredibly humble, and at the same time, you know what you're worth. And look, to be honest, Supremacist, you showed it full well today. You guys have Bliss coming up tomorrow. What are you feeling like coming into that matchup? I mean, that on paper would be a closer match toward the and being serious, a closer match toward the bottom end of the table. But you're both at the top end of the table. Woof. How are you feeling coming into this?
I mean, it's the same mentality as every other team. We're going in with the neutral mindset on wanting to beat these teams and just bring it to them as best as we can and just try and lose as many rounds. And honestly, we're in their heads, I think, already by these wins. And so, yeah, I think we're really going to get there.
Supremacist, it has been an utter joy to have you on, by the way. This has been an excellent interview. We really appreciate you coming on, mate. Do you have anything that you want to say to friends, family, fans?
We really just obviously appreciate all of the fans, all of the support from everybody coming into these games and just seeing that, the support is never really expected in the first place. I think from all of us, I think we kind of thought that, it would be harder for everybody else to try and get on our backs. But yeah, people are supporting us, and I thank you guys for that. I really do appreciate it.
Well, Supremacist, I'm going to leave it on that note. It's been incredible talking to you, mate, and best luck in your match tomorrow night.
Thank you, man. Have a good night, guys.
Jeez, talk about a player knowing how to hold himself. Supremacist with an excellent interview there. Some great insight into the roster that is Rhythm, and what a night to get it from him.
What an absolute chat, I must say. My new favorite interviewee. He's so well spoken, beautiful, so great things to say. The only gripe I do have with you, Supremacist, if you're going to watch this back later, is that you didn't go for that run out when you muted the air jab. That was just missed opportunity right there. But jokes aside, what a game for Rhythm. This is massive for them. And to what Supremacist was saying, top 5, I completely think that's achievable for Rhythm. I think in terms of, those teams at the kind of the lower end of the standings, what we would expect, the lower seeded teams. I think Rhythm is looking like, if not the strongest, maybe kind of near Rufflecopter, Ruffle Rhythm, I think are going to be definitely breaking and pressuring these top teams.
They certainly are. Let's keep an eye on Rhythm as we go throughout the season. But it's been a crazy night. Let's have a look at the standing, or rather not the standing, sorry. Let's have a look at the schedule. My goodness, it started off at the top. 7-2, 7-2. They were quick matches. They were done and dusted in 10 minutes. It felt like we were kicking back. It was going to be an early night for us, Dev. And then it flipped on its head. 2 insane games. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, me neither. A massive, massive game. And look, I might have got my Ruffle Elevate prediction wrong, but at least I can tell you to suck it when it comes to the Wildcard Rhythm prediction. Rhythm, I believed in you from the start.
Oh, well, let's have a look at the standings. I'm speechless to that. Let's move on. Move on, bro. Don't worry about him. Elevate on top
Look at
by
it.
2 points clear. They are sitting pretty, and due to how the OTs work at the moment, Team Bliss sitting on 6 points at second as it tapers down to the bottom with LFO on the donuts.
Yeah, big shame for LFO, really struggling at the moment. And look, while Rhythm, they only are in that second to last place. Remember that is a tied position with Wildcard and the Knights. And it goes to show, right? Like, Knights have won one and lost one in OT, whereas Rhythm have just won 2 in OT, and that ends up being equivalent. So I'm really expecting to see a big shake-up in the standings come tomorrow night. I think we'll be looking at something very different. I think Elevate have definitely shown that they are standout above the rest for now. I think Knights will take some time, but they will climb a bit higher, and I think Rhythm is going to do so as well.
Well, let's give you the time to brag, Dev. We'll give you the bragging rights for now. It's up to the predictions point of the night. You're sitting out there with Raven. You've gone for the bold prediction, and look, it's paid off for you. Raven on 8 and 4. What?
Nuts.
What?
Yeah, Raven certainly jumped out ahead here. He went with Elevate, his former team way back in the day. So I can see why he was a bit biased towards that one. I went for the upsets today. I really wanted to see Rufflecop to take it. I didn't predict Bliss. If anything, Bliss is the most surprising upset of the day. I really didn't give them enough credit against Akami. Order, rather.
Come on, man. Come on. It's been Order for
it's been
so
all week.
long. Come on, man. We expect more from you, Dev. We expect more from you.
You
But
really
it's
should.
Bliss, that... Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't. But, look, speaking of the Bliss matchup, there was one player that really stuck out in that matchup, and that was Repix. He was absolutely mental, and he is well and truly deserving of the MVP of the night. I mean, every single time Bliss opened up the game, it felt like his name was on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. He had an insane game, KOST 93%. And just looking at some of these shots he managed to land and some of the plays he pulled off, C4s, shots through the floor. And then, of course, on the attack, he was a monster on the Zephyr. Some really hot shots here. This one was one of my favorites.
Oh,
that flick. It just doesn't get much better than that. I'm sure if he was, on the soccer pitch, he would be scoring goals. And here, he's just landing those shots just the same.
Oh, damn. Don't ever try to make us a football analogy again. That was terrible. That was utterly terrible. He's a sharpshooter, that's for sure. Unreal from Repix, and well-deserved for the MVP of the night. By the way, let's very quickly say, he told us it was Repix.
Yes,
But
he
now
did.
I'm getting told it's Repix. I have the screenshot. I will throw you under the bus now, Repix. But regardless, what a performance from him tonight. What a performance from Bliss and also from Rhythm. That is just, it's blown my mind.
Yeah, totally. Look, the Rhythm one I did predict, so I'm not too surprised.
Oh, God. You know what? Let's move on. Don't give him a second to talk. Let's have a look at the schedule for tomorrow night. I'm not even going to give you the floor anymore, Dev. Not even a chance. We're moving forward. And what's your game of the night? I think I can see the game of the night right off the bat.
I've got a feeling that Order and Knights game is going to be a bloodbath. Big grudge match. Both teams haven't quite hit their expectations in OCN this season, and I'm so ready for it.
You know what? I'm going to back it up and say the Rhythm Bliss game. That is a beautiful storyline in the making, and now created tonight. Both of those teams upsetting the Titans of the scene. They will go head to head, and it just couldn't get any better. It could not get any better. If you love Siege, if you love ANZ Siege, this is the place to be, and it's going to be on tomorrow night, so I'm so keen to get involved. But Dev, let me get your final thoughts on what has been an insane night.
You'd be stupid to miss tomorrow night, that's all.
It's so short and sweet, and I love it. It's shown lots for tonight, ladies and gents, but it has come to an end. A bittersweet end for us, but we'll be back tomorrow night from 7 p.m. onwards. See you then.
located. A bomb has been located.
I'm running out of time. I'm running on a feeling song. I'm running out of time.
Don't take me to a place I know.